In the year 2047, Earth stood at the crossroads of an unprecedented moment in history. For centuries, humanity had gazed at the stars, yearning for contact with the universe beyond their blue planet. When the Galactic Empire finally made itself known, it was everything Earth had hoped for and feared. The first ships arrived in the Solar System 3 years earlier, sea vessels of unimaginable size and technological prowess. Their designs unlike anything Earth scientists had ever seen. The Empire was vast, spanning millions of worlds across hundreds of galaxies, and it was interested in Earth. For the first time in recorded history, humans were offered a place in a galactic community that spanned the stars. The Galactic Emperor, a being of immense power and unknown origin, sent envoys to Earth, offering advanced technology, knowledge, and the promise of security under their rule. At first, the offer seemed too good to refuse. Earth's leaders saw the promise of peace, prosperity, and progress. Disease, hunger, and war could be eradicated with the Empire's superior technology. The people of Earth, enthralled by the prospect of a utopian future, looked to their governments with hope. But as the Empire's presence on Earth grew, so did the unease. The advanced tech and knowledge were undeniable, but the price of their gift became apparent. The Empire was not a benevolent benefactor, it was an empire. Sovereignty and autonomy were luxuries they were no longer willing to offer. Earth's leaders began to notice subtle changes. The Galactic Empire's envoys, though polite and often pleasant, insisted on stricter regulations, enforcing a constant presence in Earth's politics. Military personnel arrived in large numbers, their ships and weapons stationed in Earth's orbit. A new mandate, all decisions, scientific advancements, and military affairs were to be approved by the Empire. Freedom of thought was becoming increasingly regulated. The voice of the Earth's citizens was growing silent, as the weight of the Empire's influence suffocated them. The people of Earth, once hopeful, began to feel the cold reality of imperial control. Dissent grew in the shadows, and whispers of rebellion spread across cities. From the gleaming metropolises of New York and Tokyo to the isolated corners of the world, Earth was no longer free. It was then that the unthinkable happened. The leaders of Earth convened in a secret meeting, in an underground bunker miles beneath the Earth's surface, where they crafted a bold declaration proclamation that would send shockwaves through the Empire. Effective immediately, the statement read, "Earth hereby shuts its borders to the Galactic Empire." The news spread like wildfire. Governments, once divided, stood united in defiance. The Galactic Empire's envoys were escorted off-world, and Earth's borders were sealed. All interstellar communications were blocked. Ships attempting to approach Earth were turned away, their transmissions interrupted by a high-frequency pulse that disabled their systems. The Galactic Empire, known for its vast reach and terrifying power, did not respond with immediate military force. They had underestimated the resolve of Earth's inhabitants. They underestimated the strength of a united planet that had, for millennia, survived war, famine, and internal strife. However, the announcement did not come without consequences. The Galactic Empire's emissaries, who had once walked Earth's soil, vanished into the stars, leaving behind only a chilling message. The Empire would not tolerate such defiance, and Earth's resistance would not go unpunished. As months passed, Earth's leaders remained steadfast, bolstered by the collective spirit of humanity. The people, who had once been hopeful for the Empire's promises, now united under a single banner, autonomy. But Earth knew that their decision came with grave risks. The Empire was not a power to be trifled with. The world braced for what was to come. Earth had closed its borders to the Galactic Empire, but would that be enough to secure their freedom? Or would they soon face the full wrath of an interstellar force, unlike any they had ever known? As Earth looked up at the stars, they realized one undeniable truth. They were no longer merely inhabitants of a small, isolated planet. They were part of a much larger galactic stage, and the choice to fight for their sovereignty would define the future of humanity. ChatGPT can make me. The days following Earth's declaration were tense. Earth's governments, once fractured and complacent, now had a singular purpose: to defend their planet against the looming threat of imperial retaliation. Across the globe, preparations began in earnest. Military bases, once used to defend Earth from terrestrial threats, now bristled with newfound urgency. Alliances were forged between nations that had once been at odds, and human ingenuity was put to the test like never before. In the days before the closure of Earth's borders, the Galactic Empire had kept the planet under a watchful eye, its ships stationed in orbit, monitoring every move. Now, the ships remained silent and unmoving. Earth's leaders feared that the Empire was simply waiting for the right moment to strike. But that moment never came. Instead, a month passed with nothing but eerie stillness. Earth's space surveillance systems detected no sign of Imperial activity. The fleets of the Empire seemed to have vanished into the far reaches of space, their once constant patrols reduced to a ghostly absence. For the first time, Earth felt a strange, unsettling calm that only heightened the growing paranoia. Then, on the 45th day of Earth's border closure, a message arrived. It was not a diplomatic overture, as many had hoped. No, it was a warning. The message, broadcast across all channels, was chilling in its simplicity. You have chosen to defy the Galactic Empire. This is your final warning. We shall not tolerate rebellion. The transmission cut off before anyone could respond. It was a harbinger of the war that many had feared, but few had truly believed would come. Earth's leaders knew now that the Empire had not forgotten them. It had simply been biding its time, and that time was now. Within hours, fleets of ships vast and imposing reappeared in the sky, but this time, they were not idle. The first signs of Imperial aggression were subtle, yet unmistakable. Asteroid-sized projectiles began to strike Earth's outer atmosphere, detonating with a force that rattled the entire planet. These were not missiles in the traditional sense. They were powerful, almost ancient, forms of Imperial weaponry devices capable of disabling satellites, communications, and defense systems from orbit. The Empire was making its move. However, Earth was not unprepared. The closing of its borders had also come with the implementation of one of the most ambitious military projects in human history, the construction of a planetary defense system known as Aegis, drawing on the Empire's own technology and bolstered by humanity's most brilliant minds. Aegis was Earth's shield against the stars. A network of advanced laser cannons, electromagnetic grids, and orbital defense platforms was established in the months leading up to the border closure. Earth's defenses were now operational, and they were ready. As the first projectiles from the Empire collided with Earth's defenses, the sky above the planet lit up in a kaleidoscope of fire and sparks. The impact of each blast sent shockwaves through cities, shaking even the most secure underground bunkers. Yet the Aegis system held firm, repelling the Imperial onslaught with surprising efficacy. The defensive grids were holding, but it was clear the Empire had no intention of retreating. For the next several weeks, Earth's military engaged in a brutal war of attrition against the Empire's forces. The battle was fought not just in the skies above, but also on the ground, in cybernetic warfare, and in the hearts and minds of every human on Earth. The Empire's soldiers, once seen as godlike figures of invincibility, found themselves slowed by Earth's unexpected resilience. In the streets of major cities, resistance movements sprang up, from the largest superpowers to the smallest nations, all united under a single banner: human freedom. From Africa to the Americas, from Europe to the Pacific Islands, people fought back with whatever means they had, hacking the Empire's communications, sabotaging supply lines, and rallying to the cause. It wasn't just Earth's military that held the line. The entire planet had become a battleground. The Galactic Empire's response was swift. Their warships began to deploy vast legions of soldiers, humanoid and non-humanoid, each more terrifying than the last. Clashes between Imperial ground forces and human defenders were brutal, with Earth's soldiers fighting not only for their survival, but for the future of humanity itself. Cities became war zones, and Earth's military, though overwhelmed at times, fought with a ferocity and desperation the Empire had not anticipated. Yet, despite the ongoing battles and the growing toll on both sides, something unexpected was happening. The people of Earth, united by their shared defiance, were beginning to turn the tide. They were not just fighting a foreign invader, they were fighting for their right to exist on their own terms, without the shadow of an empire looming over them. They had no illusions about the challenge ahead, but the resistance was spreading like wildfire, and their resolve only grew stronger with each passing day. and far beyond Earth's orbit, in the silent corridors of the Galactic Empire's command ships, a new question began to take root. Could they truly subdue a species so determined to protect its home? The battle for Earth was far from over, but one thing was certain: humanity's will to survive would not be broken easily. The Galactic Empire had made a grave mistake in underestimating Earth. They had underestimated the heart of humanity, and that, perhaps, would be their downfall. The conflict between Earth and the Galactic Empire had become the stuff of legend. What had begun as a quiet declaration of defiance had erupted into a full-scale war, one that spanned the surface of the planet and into the vastness of space. Yet despite the overwhelming power of the Empire, Earth's resistance had not only survived, but had begun to shift the balance of power. The Empire, having underestimated Earth's will, was now facing an unexpected challenge. While their superior technology and vast fleet had initially overwhelmed Earth's defenses, the ongoing battles revealed cracks in their strategy. Earth's ingenuity and adaptability were proving to be a formidable adversary. The Empire's ships, massive and indestructible by conventional means, were vulnerable to the precision strikes from Earth's new weapons, especially those designed with the Empire's own technology, reverse-engineered by humanity's finest engineers. The Aegis system, Earth's orbital defense network, had become a beacon of human strength. The electromagnetic grids and laser cannons stood resilient against the Empire's assault, and Earth's deep space radar systems had become adept at intercepting Imperial vessels before they could inflict serious damage. Every time the Empire sent another wave of ships to crush the resistance, they found themselves repelled by the strength of Earth's determination. But the real turning point came not in the sky, nor on the battlefield. It came from a single decision made by Earth's leadership, a decision that would shape the course of the war, the decision to open communications with the Empire's rank and file. While the Empire's command structure remained steadfast in its pursuit of Earth's subjugation, a growing number of Imperial soldiers began to question their orders. Some had been born into the Empire, others had been conscripted from conquered worlds, and still others had served loyally for generations. But as they watched Earth's resistance, their certainty began to waver. What they once saw as an insignificant world unworthy of rebellion now appeared as a symbol of something much larger, a symbol of resilience, of defiance, of freedom. It was through these cracks in the Imperial forces that Earth's resistance found its opening. Using a combination of hacked Imperial communications and underground networks, a small group of high-ranking Imperial defectors reached out to Earth's leaders. Among them was General Threx, a former commander of the Empire's planetary invasion fleets, who had long grown disillusioned with the Emperor's tyranny. He knew that the war against Earth was not only unjust but unsustainable. The cost of conquest was growing too high for the Empire, and the moral weight of its actions was beginning to show. Threx made contact with Earth's Council in secret, offering to provide critical intelligence and insights into the Empire's vulnerabilities. He revealed the location of key Imperial supply depots, strategic weaknesses in their battle plans, and most importantly an opportunity to strike at the heart of the Empire itself, the Emperor's flagship, Astraeus, a colossal vessel that commanded the entirety of the Empire's forces in the Sol system. Earth's leadership, torn between the urgency of their struggle and the risk of trusting an enemy officers, chose to take the leap. They forged a fragile alliance with Threx and the growing faction of Imperial defectors, hoping that the information they received would be the key to breaking the Empire's grip. The plan was daring. Earth's forces would launch a simultaneous strike across multiple fronts, sabotage Imperial supply chains, cripple their communications, and if they were lucky, use the chaos to infiltrate the heart of the Empire's operations. The final objective: destroy Astraeus and assassinate the Galactic Emperor himself. The first phase of the operation began with the sabotage of a major Imperial supply depot in orbit around Jupiter. Earth's best soldiers, equipped with stealth technology and armed with the latest human-made weaponry, infiltrated the depot, disabling the fleet's ability to resupply. The attack was swift and precise, and the Empire, caught off guard, struggled to mount an effective counteroffensive. A series of these attacks crippled the Empire's ability to sustain its military campaign, causing their forces to fall into disarray. Meanwhile, In the vast reaches of space, Earth's fleet, which had once been a mere speck compared to the Empire's armada, was growing stronger. Rebel factions from across the galaxy freed slaves, oppressed worlds, and defectors joined the cause, bringing ships, resources, and the knowledge of the Empire's inner workings. Earth was no longer alone in this fight. It was the heart of a growing alliance that had one purpose: to bring the Empire to its knees. And then came the most audacious move of all, the infiltration of the Emperor's flagship, Astraeus. A small, specially trained team of Earth's elite soldiers, aided by Imperial defectors, made their way aboard the massive vessel, hidden within a supply ship sent to reinforce the flagship. The plan was simple: navigate through the heart of the Empire's flagship, sabotage its core systems, if possible, eliminate the Emperor. As the infiltration team breached Astraeus, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Every step they took was a gamble. One false move and they would be caught. But the Earth soldiers were resolute, and their training was unlike anything the Empire had encountered. They knew that the fate of Earth and perhaps the galaxy depended on their success. Inside the flagship's control room, the Earth team faced the Empire's most elite soldiers, but with the aid of Phrex and his allies, they succeeded in overpowering the guards. In the final moments, as they approached the Emperor's command center, they came face to face with the most powerful being in the known universe. But the Emperor was not what they had expected. He was not the cold, calculating tyrant they had been led to believe. He was a man flawed, tired, and deeply disillusioned. In a moment of confrontation, the Earth soldiers offered him an ultimatum: surrender and put an end to the Empire's conquest, or die and continue the war that had already cost so much. The Emperor, seeing the resolve in the eyes of his captors, did something no one anticipated: surrendered. He acknowledged the rebellion, not just as a challenge to his empire, but as a symbol of something far greater, the enduring will of freedom. Earth shuts its borders to the Galactic Empire. Part 4. In the aftermath of the shocking surrender of the Galactic Emperor, Earth and its allies stood on the precipice of a new era. The fall of the Empire's central leadership did not immediately signal the end of the war. The Empire's military was fractured, but the remnants of its forces, scattered across the galaxy, were far from defeated. Yet, Earth's victory over the Astraeus, the Emperor, and the Imperial command structure sent shockwaves throughout the universe, shaking the very foundation of the Galactic Empire. While Earth had succeeded in its most audacious operation, the consequences of this victory were immense. The Empire was not a singular entity, but a vast, sprawling network of worlds, military forces, and political regimes, many of which were now questioning their allegiance. The Emperor's capture had created a vacuum of power, and across the stars, rival factions within the Empire began to vie for control. Some pledged loyalty to the remnants of the Imperial dynasty, while others, emboldened by Earth's resilience, began to rise up in revolt, seeking to free themselves from the Empire's iron grip. For Earth, the struggle had only just begun. While the central leadership of the Galactic Empire had been dismantled, the heart of their power still lay in the vast fleets and colonies they controlled. Earth had no illusions about the magnitude of the task ahead. The victory over the Astraeus had been a symbolic blow, but the true test would come when the remnants of the Empire gathered their forces for a final push. Earth's military, although emboldened, had taken heavy losses in the battles fought so far. The Empire had underestimated humanity's ingenuity, but the cost of the war was evident in every corner of the planet. Cities lay in ruin, the scars of war visible across Earth's surface. Yet there was something else in the air now, something more powerful than any weapon the Empire could wield: hope. Earth had learned how to defend itself, how to strike back, and the lessons from this war were being spread across the stars. Across the galaxy, Earth's victory became a beacon of hope to other worlds oppressed by the Empire. Planets that had been under Imperial control for centuries saw in Earth's defiance the possibility of liberation. They sent messages, fleets, and soldiers, offering their support in the war that was now shaping the future of the galaxy. Humanity's influence had expanded beyond their own homeworld. They were no longer just defending Earth, they were leading a galactic coalition. The dawn of the Galactic Coalition. The Galactic Empire, in its final throes, resorted to desperate measures. In the wake of the Emperor's downfall, the Empire's remaining leadership, now fragmented into multiple warlord factions, rallied around their most powerful fleet commanders. They had one last ace to play, the activation of their most devastating weapon, the Dread Expanse. The Dread Expanse was a super weapon of terrifying power and experimental device, capable of erasing entire star systems from existence. It was hidden deep in the far reaches of the galaxy, shielded by a heavily fortified Imperial base. For the Empire, this was their final attempt to reassert control by using fear as a weapon that could extinguish entire worlds in a single, devastating blow. But Earth's newly formed coalition, now composed of humans and various other alien species that had once been subjugated by the Empire, was determined to stop it. The newly reformed United Earth Alliance (UEA) had spent the last few years building new alliances and bolstering their forces, all while developing advanced technologies based on the very systems the Empire had once used against them. With the help of Imperial defectors, Earth's engineers had unlocked the secret to neutralizing the Dread Expanse. It was a gambling all-out assault on the Empire's last remaining stronghold, a mission so dangerous that it would either mean the end of the war or the destruction of every hope Earth had fought for. The attack would begin at the heart of the Empire's stronghold, a place known only to the highest-ranking Imperial officers, Valka Station, an enormous fortress built around the superweapons activation chamber. As Earth's fleet prepared for the assault, General Thrax, now one of Earth's most trusted military leaders, was tasked with leading the operation. With him were a group of hand-picked soldiers like operatives who had fought through the toughest battles Earth had known. Now facing the ultimate challenge, they would infiltrate Valkyr Station, disable the weapon, and deal a final blow to the Galactic Empire. In the lead-up to the mission, the UEA had mobilized its full fleet, human, alien, and former Imperial soldiers all working together under one unified command. They knew that this final battle would be the crucible that would determine the fate of the galaxy. They also knew that victory was not guaranteed. The assault on Valkyr Station was nothing short of cataclysmic. Imperial defenses, reinforced by the Empire's most loyal generals, fought fiercely to protect the weapon. The UEA's forces, despite their ingenuity and growing strength, were pushed to the limit. Ships were destroyed in the vacuum of space, and ground battles raged inside the fortress, each room turned into a deadly battleground. But Earth's forces, led by Thrax, pushed forward. They breached the station's outer defenses, infiltrated its core systems, and fought their way to the heart of the Dread Expanse superweapon. In the final moments of the battle, Thrax and his team managed to activate a series of charges that destroyed the weapon's core, disarming the Dread Expanse before it could be fired. The explosion that followed sent shockwaves through the galaxy, marking the end of the Empire's reign. Valkyr Station, the last vestige of the Galactic Empire's power, was reduced to rubble. As the dust settled, a new order began to take shape. The remaining Imperial warlords, now leaderless and broken, surrendered or retreated to the farthest reaches of space. Earth's victory had not only brought peace to their planet, it had ignited a revolution across the stars. The new Galactic Alliance. In the wake of the Empire's fall, Earth led the creation of a new interstellar alliance, a coalition of liberated worlds, united not by the rule of one, but by the collective will of many. The Galactic Coalition, as it came to be known, was founded on the ideals of freedom, cooperation, and mutual respect among all sentient species.